Hey guys, it's your girl in TSW world. I wanted to make just a really quick, straightforward video about immunosuppressants, specifically cyclosporine in my case, because I feel like there's not a lot of helpful or just really not a lot of information at all about immunosuppressants with TSW and cyclosporine. And I am a patient of Dr. Rapaport's, if that means anything to you. He's kind of the guru of TSW, and so I'll be talking about what he thinks about immunosuppressants and I will try and be the modern Prometheus, taking the fire from the gods of Dr. Rapaport and sharing it with you guys as best as I can, just so you have more information and can figure out how to maximize your healing journey, but also stay comfortable and stay sane. So I am officially done with my 14 month as of I think it's tomorrow, but we'll say today. So that's crazy. I really never imagined being on month 14 and still going. So I'm gonna say that's great. I started cyclosporine last month, at the beginning of last month. So it's been almost 2 months of being on cyclosporine now. And you see that I'm still not doing awesome. I just got out of the bath, so you can see I'm all nice and moisturized. I'll give you a closer view on my skin, but I'm doing okay. I mean, way better than 14 months ago. So, I was in a really bad way at the beginning. Right now, it's the end of January. At the beginning of December, and reached out to Dr. Rapaport, and we decided to put me on cyclosporine. And that was something that I never expected in a million years that I would be doing when I started TSW. I've always been really, 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 really cautious about being on medication, obviously, with all the experiences that we have had with steroids. So it was a big decision for me, and it was something that took me 13 months to get to as well. But I was in just a really bad way and just mentally could not handle the amount of suffering that I was undergoing every single day. So I said yes after talking to Dr. Rapaport. He said he really, really felt like it was the right solution. Well, not solution, but the right option for me and would help my healing. So I have been on it, like I said, for about 2 months, and I was really expecting more. I'm not going to lie, the few people that I have seen that have been on cyclosporine, are I've been on it 5 days or a week, and I'm doing, pretty much perfect now. So I was kind of expecting the same thing. I think Dr. Rapaport was expecting more for me too, but I have been on steroids for about 25 years straight, and I was on clobetasol, putting that on my face and my whole body about, multiple times a day for the last 3+ years too. So I was definitely a super abuser, not knowing it. So take that with whatever information that you need. I was concerned about cyclosporine maybe just totally shutting off my immune system and maybe halting healing in some way, but I definitely don't feel that way now that I'm on it. I haven't had any bad side effects. The big 3 that I was worried about was weird body hair growing all over in strange places. Have not had that. Kidney issues, which I have not had. I have taken, I am getting my blood drawn every month or every, 4 or 5 weeks to check for any kind of kidney distress, and I've been fine so far. And then I have super, super low blood pressure, so I have been fine as far as the other potential complication of high blood pressure too. So I've been doing totally fine and great on cyclosporine. I'm taking 250 milligrams a day. For the first week, Dr. Rapaport had me on 300 milligrams a day. And I will show you pictures here of my hands so you can see. This hand is from right before I started, and then after a week, just how much that huge fissure in my palm closed up. So it's definitely helped, and it's really, really helped with the redness. I was still mostly tomato red all the time before cyclosporine, and that has really, really helped with the redness. So I still have red moments, and I still have itch attacks and there's nothing that has completely gone away with being on cyclosporine, but it has helped just dial the intensity of my symptoms from like 10 to like maybe a 5 or a 6. And when I was on 300 milligrams, it was maybe like down to a 4 or a 5, but continuing to be on it longer and still like seeing my skin fluctuate hormonally, it's still maybe like a 5 or a 6 as far as where I would like to be. So yes, as far as talking about if you're thinking about taking an immunosuppressant, just the advice that Dr. Rapaport gave me from his medical experience and the experience of his patients. He said he's put 600 people on cyclosporine, 600 of his worst patients. He calls them his basket cases, and I'm one of his basket cases. So he's put 600 people on cyclosporine. He said almost every single one of them has done really, really well, except for the people that were so worried about cyclosporine they did poorly because they were so stressed out the whole time. So if you are really, really worried about being on an immunosuppressant, don't do it. I would recommend that as well. If you just don't feel at peace about trying this for yourself, you know what, just wait until you are at peace about it, or like get more information until you are at peace about it. But anyway, don't force yourself to be on something you don't feel good about. So I did end up, after talking with him, feeling really good and really excited to be on cyclosporine. So the two things that he does not recommend are Dupixent, also known as dupilumab, and methotrexate. He said that they both do not help, and especially had really negative things to say about Dupixent because it is just so expensive. It's like $35,000 a year or something to be on. So your dermatologist might want to shove you on that because obviously they're going to get a really big kickback from Dupixent/dupilumab to do that. So just encouraging you from him, like he encouraged me, that like methotrexate and Dupixent aren't probably going to be good options, but he really has had a lot of success with cyclosporine. There are two different kinds of cyclosporine. There is modified and non-modified, and non-modified is the older one, and they modified it so that it is more bioavailable. So it's however much your body can use of the medication is what's bioavailable. So he recommended for me to go on the non-modified version, the older one. I don't know if it's just because he is old and like that's the one that he started people out on, and that's what he's continuing to have people on. He didn't sound like he was like super diehard on doing one or the other. So definitely do whichever your doctor thinks is best for you. So I'm on non-modified and I'm doing fine on that. There are supposedly concerns about being out in the sun with cyclosporine. I think that's maybe more of a concern with the modified version, as well as I can understand it. Dr. Rapaport was not concerned about my being in the sun on the non-modified version. So I was able to be in the sun a little bit, and that felt fine. So I'm not worried about that. Obviously, just monitoring it. The other limitations I will put below. There are a lot of like herbal counterindications, specifically with like licorice and chamomile, which was heartbreaking for me. I can really eat very little right now, as far as I just always have. I've been really reactive to things. And a cup of chamomile tea has always been like my little happy thing in the day. And now that I'm on cyclosporine, I can't even have that. So like I had a good cry about that. But I will put that resource in the description box here, as far as if you are a person that likes herbs and herbal medicine, or just like licorice and chamomile and a few other like normal things, have a counterindication with cyclosporine. And then the other thing is grapefruit is a big no-no. So I don't really care about grapefruit, but the one time I was able to go out to eat in the last couple of months, the only dairy-free option, because I'm super, super allergic to dairy, the only dairy-free option for dessert was a grapefruit sorbet. So I didn't get dessert. So it's just those little moments that I'm sure you all can relate to that just build up and just make you not even feel like you're able to be a person in this world anymore. So anyway, not to complain. I'm just saying that as like a cute story. Hopefully you can all relate to that too. So there are definitely some limitations with cyclosporine. He said the dose that I'm on right now, I'm only 114 pounds. So that's why I'm on, I think, what sounds like a little bit of a lower dose, is just mildly immunosuppressive. So I'm really super not concerned about being sick. I'm just doing what I've always been, washing my hands, and I don't really get out much anyway. So that's not a big concern as far as like somebody coughing on me, but it is definitely a component to be aware of, that it is an immunosuppressant. So I still think that I am healing on this. It's been definitely ups and downs since I've been on it, but I don't know how I would have handled even this past month without the slight help that cyclosporine has been. So once again, I feel like I'm really one of the rare ones who hasn't been helped a ton with cyclosporine. Once again, it has been helpful, but I think that a lot of people are really, really, really helped by it. So if you're thinking about doing it, definitely try it even for a month and to see how you feel about it. Your kidneys are not going to shut down in a month. You're not going to grow weird body hair in a month. You can just see how you feel, and I would definitely recommend trying it. It's not scary if you have a doctor that you trust or a doctor that you can inform and talk through together who's interested in listening. So that's been my experience. I hope that's helpful. If you have any other questions about immunosuppressants with TSW, let me know. Oh, one other note too, that the plan for me is I'll be on this probably for at least a year. One concern for me was, I asked Dr. Rapaport, is there going to be any kind of rebound for me on cyclosporine after I get off of it? And he said absolutely not. It is something that you need to taper off of, but once TSW has run its course, you can just taper off of it and you're not going to like re-get TSW or anything. So that was really encouraging for me. I've been really concerned about the possible existence of like some kind of cyclosporine rebound, but he says that is not so. And with over 600 patients having taken it and having practiced medicine for over 50 years, I totally trust him on that. So let me know if you have any questions that I can answer. I definitely have been happy with it. I could be happier, but yeah, I really wanted to give you guys more resources. So talk to you later.